This is you. It's such good shit. This is what makes you you. And I said, so I'm an idiot. And he goes, no, it's you. You're different.
Greetings, pro wrestling fans, and thank you for joining us at the Pro Wrestling LookBack Podcast. I'm Nick, and I'm sitting here with
Donovan, Donovan.
Yeah, I'm used to the spelling at this point. We're back to the original.
I wonder what Young would think. I'm waiting.
Yeah, we'll find out next week. Hopefully, couldn't make it again. The guy's got a big move coming up, and I'm sure he's watching that Raptors game. He didn't tell me, but I know that's
he's on location.
Yeah, he's around. Shout out to Younger. Thanks for checking out the Pro Wrestling LookBack Podcast. This is the Roundtable, episode 39.
Hey.
Yeah. If you don't already, give us a follow on Instagram and Twitter at PWLookback. Send us an email, prowrestlinglookback@gmail.com. If you want as well, send us a DM on Twitter and or Instagram. Get at us. Let us know questions for Roundtable topics, anything like that. We're curious. We want to know what you guys think about the show, and we're always getting new listeners from different places, so we appreciate the hell out of that. If you don't already, get yourself a t-shirt, Pro Wrestling Lookback. Get yourself a tank top.
Get a tank.
Teespring.com/Pro Wrestling Lookback Podcast. I think that's pretty much it, Don. If you want, you can follow us on Twitter at Salsa, SCELSA.
At JustDon44.
Yeah, and hit the 5 stars on iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, YouTube. Subscribe, like, share. We appreciate it. As per usual. A lot to get into tonight there, Don.
Yes. Lots.
AEW. Toronto Raptors in the NBA Finals.
Crazy. Even you saying it.
Dean Ambrose spills the beans on Talk is Jericho.
Jon Moxley.
Oh yeah, wrong name. Johnny Boy. A lot to get into tonight, and we'll touch on all of it. But
yes.
I think we should start. I mean, it is our hometown boys. As much as whether I support them on the regular basis or not, they are our hometown boys, and I feel like they deserve a little talking about. But congrats to them and making it to the NBA Finals.
Huge history has been made, man.
First time.
Crazy shit.
24 years, I think they've been around now. 1995.
Is that it? Exactly, yeah. I'm glad you knew that, because
I was talking with a guy at work, actually. Shout out to him, Raheem.
Yeah.
And he was saying that he thought it was 93 or 94, but I'm almost positive 95. And the reason I told him I was so sure is the Raptor, whatever his name is, the mascot.
Yes.
His number, I would bet my paycheck his number is 95. Now, don't quote me on that there, Raheem, but I would bet you that it's number 95 on the back of that jersey. And I keep hearing 24 years, so that would make sense, no? Because next year would be 25 years.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure that would be quite the accomplishment, 25 years celebrating maybe a championship. Who knows?
Hopefully. We
got game ones going down, honestly, probably an hour after we're starting recording tonight, so we'll see. By the time this episode drops, the game will have happened already. Game 1 between the Raptors and Golden State.
We won.
Yeah.
By that time.
Hey, that's what you said last time when we recorded, and we did win. So let's hope they do that. But shout out to them. Shout out to Kyle Lowry and Kawhi Leonard and all the boys.
Yeah, man.
Give me some more names. I don't know.
Huge. Marc Gasol.
Keep going.
Fucking Ibaka. We got fucking
Van Vliet.
Van Vliet, man.
Not the one that interviews wrestlers online, by the way. This is a different Van Vliet who plays for the Raptors.
Siakam, who you like to call Rondo 2.
Yeah, bro. That guy is Rondo 2.0. He looks like Rondo's older brother.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they're doing awesome. I mean, I don't know enough about really basketball to really get into like the details of how their series went with the Bucks. I don't know if you want to talk a bit about that, but
I think that what happened is that it can't, because even going into this, man, I was like thinking, Giannis Antetokounmpo, the all-star, the main man of Milwaukee. I was thinking that it was just his time, and I was talking to people about it like all year, just being like, I don't know, man. I don't know if we can do it. Like, they just have so much momentum, like coming in.
Yeah, I don't know if we can hang.
Yeah,
that's kind of what you're.
But like when it boils down to it, I feel like he's a lot younger of a player than Kawhi. You know what I mean? Kawhi's been around, and I feel like he just wants it that much more at this point in his career.
Yeah, again, shout out to Raheem. He told me Kawhi was asked again about, are you leaving? Do you want to stay? This and that. And his reply was, I worry about winning games.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I haven't watched as much as maybe I should have for being a Torontonian outsider-ish city. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Outskirts. But this guy's definitely serious.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the best players in the league as far as what I've heard and what I'm, as far as I'm concerned at least.
Definitely.
So, I don't know. Shout out to him, and we'll see how they do, man. Like you said, they hopefully they won last night.
Oh, we won. Yeah, we won.
Yeah, okay. You want to move on?
Yeah.
AEW, man, the big fucking show. It's finally here.
Did you
Double or nothing, buddy?
Yeah. Did you get to watch it all? Were you watching it live?
Well, yeah, I actually did. I don't know, anybody who's a frequent listener of the podcast, they probably assumed I wasn't going to be listening or watching the show because that's what I had said on the show. But yeah, I know I had some free time. The race that I was getting up to watch on the Sunday morning wasn't as early as I was anticipating it being.
Mm-hmm.
And the Formula 2 race, I'll get into the F1 update probably a little bit later in the show today, but the Formula 2 race wasn't on TV either. So when I noticed that on Saturday night, I kind of, I can probably stay up a little bit later. I don't need to get up at 4 a.m. now to watch racing. So, I didn't really do the proper way. I didn't exactly pay for the show, but I found a way to watch it on the old internet there, and I watched it, and I can't say that I watched all of it, with peeled back eyes. You know what I mean? Like, super intently the entire show. I'm sure I was walking around doing stuff, making food, maybe on my phone a bit, but that final hour, and definitely the pre-show, as weird as that sounds, because I gave the pre-show a little bit more watching because that was kind of my let's see if I want to watch this kind of thing.
Yep.
I gave them more attention, the pre-show and probably the final hour. Funny because the pre-show was definitely the worst part of that night, and the final hour was definitely the best part of that night.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I thought they did an outstanding job. I think one of my biggest takeaways from being a positive thing would be the look of everything. I really enjoyed the look of the stage, the look of the setup. It looked very modern. It looked very, at par in a sense with a WWE or even, a WCW back in the day. Like, it looked a lot better than All In.
Yeah.
Is kind of what I'm getting at.
Yep, I agree with that.
Not that All In looked like shit, but I just mean you could tell that it was a lower budget type of show, and it was. They didn't have Tony Khan for All In. As far as as far as I know.
Yeah, no, the presentation of it was nice. I really liked the look of the ring. It was very the in-ring was very reminiscent of a WCW to me. With the ropes and the turnbuckles.
It reminded me of like 2003 WWE because they didn't have those thick ropes.
Yep.
I don't know what the fuck they are. You might know more than me, but those thick ropes that are in TNA and WCW, I feel like every company except WWE and maybe Lucha Underground have those extra thick ropes, and they didn't. They had the normal ropes we're used to seeing. I think maybe I've heard in the past, I don't know how true this is, that WWE uses actual rope tied really tight, and then other companies use like a type of bar with a padding on it, so that might be why.
Like, I think those,
I don't know for sure.
The AEW ones are called I think they're called like cable ropes. Like they look very much like the old school WCW.
Oh, you
style.
I found that they looked more like a WWE rope, but maybe I don't know, maybe the
stream
I had was
some fucking, Halloween Havoc, Nitro.
Well, the corner pads, definitely. The corner, the pads in the corner, and I loved how they were different. Like one pad would say AEW and the other one would say Double or Nothing, and then I think the bottom one said AEW, but I don't know. I guess I'm going to have to go back and look because I was under the impression that they were more WWE style, but either way, you guys listening, you probably know what I mean or what we mean when we're talking about the different style of ropes, but aesthetically, the show was quality, on par at least with WWE, if not, a little bit better because it was a little more dumbed down.
Were you watching this and the ball game at the same time type of thing?
Yeah. And I actually, it's funny enough, I had the ball game sound on for the first hour or so of the show. I had the Cody match and stuff I watched, but the stream I had kept fucking freezing too, so I eventually kind of had to make my way inside and like plug into the Ethernet cord, and that helped a little bit. But yeah, no. So I did have both kind of going. As bad as it sounds, I didn't end up seeing the entire show. Like I said, I saw most of the final hour, but it wasn't all live.
Yep.
I saw probably right up until the end of the Bucks match, and that was when I just couldn't, I passed out. I didn't even realize. I totally missed the ball game, which would be Game 7 of Toronto and the Bucks. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan, so it's not like it was, something I needed to feel like I had to watch. But either way, I had the match on with the Bucks, and I remember I fell asleep with that on, And then I told you the story. I woke up in the morning.
Yeah.
I didn't post it on our social medias or anything, but I opened my screen and I just see kind of a scruffy picture of a Dean Ambrose type, Jon Moxley in the crowd walking through. And I'm like, it was him leaving. And I was like, because it was the last moment of the stream, whatever the stream cut off, whatever the last thing that was on that stream cut off, that's what was on my screen, and it was on full screen. And yeah, so when I moved the mouse or whatever, opened the screen, that's what I saw. So I was like, okay. So obviously that looks like Moxley, and I didn't know what happened yet. So then obviously I'm on social media and I see all the different, Moxley returns. But I tried not to watch too much of it. I didn't really want to know what he did. Mm-hmm. So I think when I woke up the next day, then I watched the final hour. After I watched all the racing and stuff in the morning, then I watched the final hour of the show totally uninterrupted. And that's, like I said, I more intently was watching, it wasn't live, like I said, but either way, I saw that final hour very well. And the match between, I know we're kind of jumping all over the place, but the main event match was good in a different, it wasn't like their first match.
Yeah. So
it was to me, it was a lot better. Not better than the first match, but better because they didn't do a repeat of that. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. We can go back to the beginning. I don't know. We can go all over.
Yeah, for me,
I don't even know what I said for the last 5 minutes. I've been flapping my gums too long.
I did not watch it live. I missed both. I knew what was happening with the ball game and talking to people, but I was doing an overnight, working on the grind and fucking.
Oh shit.
So I had to watch the rest of Double or Nothing the following day. So
similar to me.
I did catch the pre-show though before I was doing my thing. So I seen the Battle Royal.
Yeah, that's what I was saying too. I threw it on YouTube. It was free, right?
So. Yeah. So let's start for a second with that because...
Yeah, let's start there because I kind of went all over the map. So let's kind of
It was interesting, to say the least, I guess, Who was I impressed with there? There was that lucha style dude. I forget his name. I was just listening to a show and they were talking about him, but he was in there close to the end. You remember him, like the beast kind of looking,
I think
bigger
so.
Kind of dude. He was kind of impressive throughout that Battle Royal.
Yeah.
I don't know the name of the gentleman with no legs, but I don't know why he was in there.
Yeah, I don't know if I fully agree with that. It just doesn't.
I wasn't.
It doesn't come across great, in my opinion. It's just somebody especially somebody who's a casual or a non-fan. To see that, they're really going to be like, what the fuck is this? This isn't fair. This doesn't really make a lot of sense. And then one of the biggest reasons I'm watching the damn pre-show, my boy Ty Dillinger makes his debut in AEW officially, 10-10-10. They're still using that. Well, it's Sean Spears now, which is, it's kind of funny because I remember at the beginning it was hard for me to get to, to start calling him Ty Dillinger.
Now you got to.
And then now I got to go back to trying to call him Sean Spears, which was originally, Anyway, so he comes out and he does his whole thing and the 10 thing, and he's in the match and he's doing his stuff, and yeah, he gets eliminated by the gentleman with no legs. Not to say that, and we should know his name, but not to say that he couldn't be eliminating people, but I was just disappointed,
No, it was fucked.
Okay.
I wasn't down with it. Like, to me, I don't know what other fans would think and bring up Zach Gowen and shit, but that, Zach Gowen could still kick out of a pin. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that to be funny. Like I'm looking at it from like a realistic standpoint here, right? And it's like it was really stupid and hokey. And I get that it's sometimes in wrestling hokey is cool and it's funny and we all get our laughs, but like
for like a singles match type scenario where it's like you could maybe get away with him pulling some chicanery tricks, and I don't know. To me, I agree with you.
Yeah, I just wasn't down with it, man. Like I wasn't super down with it, and I was a little surprised. I thought when he came out, Sean Spears, I would have thought he would kind of be in the final four, top five kind of tier guys.
I was thinking maybe he could have got a win,
and then
possibly
to have Hangman Page be
before we get to that though, because I want to get to Hangman and how fucking obvious it was, but. How did you feel about the 5-man entrance, like coming out 5 at a time and then kind of just announcing it?
You know what? Actually, I kind of liked it. It was different. I kind of liked it because I wasn't sure if it was. At first, I didn't know what was happening. Like when the first set of guys came and it was Pillman Jr.
Well, I was on the wrong stream, so fuck you, AEW, because you had it on your damn channel. This is the stream, and I go to the AEW official
YouTube
AEW YouTube channel, and it ain't there. I got to go to TNT's official fucking YouTube channel, which is, it's not a big deal, but it's like I missed the start of the Battle Royal because I was on the AEW video sitting on my phone
So was I.
thinking that the screen was going to change once the show started. And then I'm like, it's fucking 5:07 or like, what's the fuck is going on here? So I go back to YouTube and I see one that has a little light and I'm like, okay, this must be it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know, not to say I'm pissed at AEW, but it's like, it's your first show. I mean, you'd think I went to what you advertised.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know, I'm not a super fan. Like I went to their Twitter, saw, okay, youtube.com/All Elite Wrestling, and I went to that and I couldn't watch the show. But anyway, so yeah, I missed the first group of guys coming out.
Yeah.
So I didn't know how it was. I was like, is this like a Royal Rumble or is this, because I turned it on, I'm like, what's going on? I thought everybody was going to start in the ring, like the Andre the Giant or something like that. So I didn't know what the fuck was going on. So when I seen 5 guys, excuse me, man, too much Red Bull before the show. That's when I seen the 5 guys coming out at a time. I'm like, okay, I guess this is something, but I got to be honest, I wasn't huge on it. I'm definitely not in the same ballpark as you.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. It was different, and it was. I liked that it was different. You know, for me.
Yeah.
At first, I was very confused though, because I remember it was Pillman Jr. and somebody else had kind of attacked him from behind in that set of 5.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I thought he was just getting, and then I'm like, oh, okay, this is how they're doing it when they following 5 came. But fuck the fact that
that's what I was gonna say. Go get to the Hangman.
the
stuff
fact
now
that it was
Hangman came out
Page.
more or less last. Right?
Yeah, got the Joker card or whatever, right?
Obvious.
So I didn't like that. Like, I would have rather.
Cody gave him the Joker card.
I would have rather had it mixed in with a group.
One
of
the
guys.
boys. What the
you know
fuck?
what I mean?
Same.
Because it was
to
like
to me, it was just completely obvious.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Way too obvious. And maybe it's like, oh, it's the first one. We just wanted to do it like this. We wanted to have him. He wanted to come out last. We're doing it traditional. We're doing it 1985 style here.
But then again, it was, but it wasn't, because for a moment in time, I thought, is his name MJF?
Yeah.
I thought he would have won for a second.
The commentators ruined it, dude.
Yeah, how so?
Because he was outside the ring.
Yeah.
And he was still in the match. And I would imagine the commentators ruined it because they brought up the fact, they're like, oh, don't worry, he's still in the match. Don't forget about MJF.
Oh, I didn't pick up. I was kind of walking around and
this was the pre-show. I was really intent because I didn't know what the fuck I was expecting that night. So I watched this first match super intently. But anyway, sorry.
I'm talking like, I don't know, did they say that like
2 minutes before he rolls in the ring and surprises Hangman?
No. I'm talking even before that. Like, I'm talking when Hangman came out and I seen MJF was in there and they were kind of highlighting him a bit. He might have eliminated a few guys. I think Dreamer and some of the other guys that were in there, he eliminated. So I was like, oh, this guy might win. He's a heel, like maybe. But then the main event was playing in my mind too. And I've always had this theory that Jericho was going to win.
You called it last week on the roundtable. I posted the clip of you saying he's going to win.
Because I had that theory, so I'm like, well, if he wins, then does Kenny win? Or do they find some way to I don't know, like what they're going to do.
Yeah.
So that was also playing in my head. But then I was like, whatever, I'll just watch and let it be. And then, they even did the little swerve at the end. Like you said, he rolls in and almost got Paige out of there, but then Paige ends up winning.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean.
Do you like this? Do you not like this? Paige winning, I mean?
I like what it sets up, and I think that's why they did it.
Yeah.
I just didn't love the fact, like, he should have just came out in the middle.
Yeah.
Just been one of the guys. Yeah. Just, Hangman Page as well. Like, it looked so, one of the boys, one of the elite.
One of the crew,
like he's one of the, and he's the guy like, oh, people don't know how good this guy really is. We're going to, you know what I mean? So, and I totally think he's going to be the first champion. I think he's going to beat Jericho.
I'll give you my theory on the booking after.
But overall, I thought the Battle Royal itself was okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember. Was that the entire pre-show? I think that was pretty much it. I don't want to go through the whole card anyway. But.
I believe so. Like, I don't know, because I was just watching it on some type of stream, and then whatever happened next, like, I really didn't watch because I was out of there.
I hear you.
I caught.
Anyway, so you were gonna say something about booking, and then we can talk about the 2 main event things, and then I know we're gonna.
Oh yeah, I'll get to the booking shit once we get after the main event thing. Just a theory and maybe some thoughts I have on where they could go.
Okay, yeah. I don't know. I don't want to.
So yeah, no. All that being said, I myself did not watch all the matches because I'm not familiar with a lot of guys. Some stuff I wasn't I would let it play. I wasn't super interested, and I would just I was kind of skipping to what I wanted to see.
Fair enough.
So when I turned it on, it was there was a tag match between 2 teams. I don't know the names of the tag teams.
It's okay, yeah.
But they were all wearing. I found it interesting. They were all wearing the same color of gear, which was a weird thing to me. Like they both had black and neon green. Looked like a very good matchup.
Yeah, I think this again was me in the middle of the show, not as maybe more watching the basketball game. You know what I mean?
I caught the tail end of it, and it was a good match, but like the gear thing, that was so fucking weird, man. Like it's like we talk about with the WWE show when we see Seth and Elias, like then the similarities of
exactly
the two.
The fucking same.
Like just you gotta, I don't know, man.
No, I hear you. Or when two people have a match and they wear the same trunk color. Yeah,
because that's what it was, dude. Like
I'm with you.
Both teams wearing the same colors. Anyway,
I didn't. Okay, yeah, sorry.
I got to watch the end of that, and then it was straight into the Cody Rhodes, Dustin Rhodes
right
match.
Before we get to that, though, I was just gonna say, and I just want to acknowledge that it did happen because I've seen them live twice. The Super Smash Bros made their debut in AEW at the end of this match or something. I think they were teamed up with Evil Uno. I'm not sure, but I know I've seen a picture of the two of them, and I know they weren't allowed to wrestle in the States for the longest time because they basically got caught illegally. Like they were in the States working and they didn't have visas, and that's why they couldn't go to the States for the longest time because they were on every ROH show that was in Canada. Every time, like they always wrestled the Bucks, always when ROH would come to Canada.
Those guys who came and did the attack at the end.
Yeah, which I didn't see the attack, but I heard about it after, and then I'm like, oh, Super Smash Bros, okay. And I've seen them twice in ROH.
I know the name.
Yeah.
Now you saying it, but I never knew what they looked like.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So that's them, and they've obviously made their debut now in AEW, which is super cool. And I'm happy that because I always said that, and shout out to Mike D because he's the one who told me about them. I always said it sucks that these guys can't go wrestle elsewhere because they're fucking good.
I feel like you said that on the show to me as well. Probably when you went to one of those.
Yeah,
ROH,
probably. I mean, if they main evented the one show with the Bucks that I went to, the first ROH show I ever went to.
True.
Which was awesome, or it might have been. Was it the main event? I don't know. Either way, it was either the main event before the intermission or it was the main event.
Yeah.
One of the two, which are kind of both main events when you get an intermission. Yeah. But, so then we can talk about, I guess, the Cody stuff.
Yeah. Cody.
I don't know how much whatever. We can get into it.
Yeah. What did you think of this match?
Match of the night, in my opinion.
Yeah, you like
I don't want to get into all the little things that happened in the match, but the best story that was told to me throughout the night. I was the most invested in it. I was getting up the odd thing. I remember I got up one time and I was just like, wow, this match is long. And then I wasn't mad about it.
Yeah.
And the amount of blood from Dusty is just fucking... Or Dustin, sorry, not Dusty. It was basically Dusty.
It was reminiscent of a Dusty Rhodes
completely. I love the cross. I mean, we've all seen it leading into this match, but the cross face paint, like the half red Gold Dust and half just, Dustin Rhodes. The moment at the beginning with the crowd chanting Dusty and Dustin pointing to the sky and Cody kind of you could tell he was ready to fucking burst, like with tears. Like he kind of just put his arm up to his face, like eyes over, or his forearm over his eyes, and for a second, just a quick second, just to kind of hold it in, bro. Like not me saying that, he was saying that to himself, and I don't know, just a great moment. And it's I don't know where I read it or something, but it's kind of just like a fuck you to WWE. Like you had your opportunity to do it here in WWE and you never did. So now we just had a fucking main event, mania moment outside of your company. And I don't know if I read that somewhere or if somebody said that on the show. So shout out to whoever it was, but that was a perfect description. Is like, you know what? Fuck you. Like I love WWE personally, but it is like a fuck you. You didn't want to give us this. We're gonna do it and make it like a mania moment.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm really glad that like Dustin Goldust got that moment and that match with his brother, because it was a total missed opportunity even before you got back into wrestling.
Yeah,
like there was times
right when I got back in, that was when.
No, but even before that, man, there was times that they had teased it,
like with the segments with Dusty backstage and shit.
No, even. I think it might have been even before that too, like before Stardust. Like
okay, because I'm talking Stardust versus Goldust.
No. Yeah, because fuck that too. I remember they did that fucking bullshit at a Fastlane.
It was supposed to be. We did. That was the lost look back, buddy.
Fuck.
That's the lost look back that we recorded that never was able to be. I mean, maybe one day #Patreon, but it doesn't have the best audio. But yeah, that's where it was, and it should have been at Mania 31 that year. That should have been the moment, and it was like. I think Dusty had just passed, or maybe he hadn't have passed.
Dude, well, you know what's
I don't even know if he had passed yet, man.
This goes back to Mania 28, man. Like that's what I'm telling you. That's when they had a wicked opportunity, missed the boat. Cody was doing his fucking thing, Intercontinental, no Stardust bullshit. They even brought a segment in with like Cody was feuding Booker and Dusty came involved, or Dustin came involved.
Yeah,
and they missed. I don't know.
Whatever, they got their moment.
I enjoyed this match overall. Yes, it was a good just wrestling match. Good story. I like the little Cody doing the Stardust hands over the face.
That was amazing.
And
where did I hear it, or I don't know again, but what did I say to you on the phone today? Dustin Rhodes can cut himself in the fucking head.
Yeah.
And roll around in the ring for 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Essentially, and tell a better fucking story than 50% of some of the people out there right now, which is insane. And I don't mean, I'm not degrading him when I say he cut himself in the forehead. I mean, he's telling a proper story. Obviously, he did more than that, but essentially, he doesn't have to do 18 flips or jump out of the ring or get hit with, everything in the fucking toy box.
Yeah.
And they can tell, I don't know where I'm going, but they basically just kudos to them. Let me get the button out there, Don, if you give me a second, but that's, they deserve that one.
Wrestling, man. That's how I looked at that match. It reminded me of very old school style of matchup. It was good.
Yeah, like something like.
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Like something like he would have, right? Like just a 5-star classic. No, maybe.
But to beat a man, you gotta beat the man.
There we go. I wish I had a Dusty one. If I had one, it would be right now playing. But a computer, you take his job. And replace him with a computer.
Straight up.
That's the shit right there. That might be the best promo that Dusty. My favorite one, at least. But
and
40 years.
So I don't know.
Moving forward.
What came after, because I would kind of watch entrances and I would skip it. I just had no interest in those the Asian 6-woman tag match or some of the others.
Yeah.
I didn't care, man.
Well, you just didn't know who they were, and you
I
didn't
think
have time. It's not like it was just on, and you had the ability to fast forward, man. You were watching it later.
Yeah,
I'm sure. Obviously, if you were sitting there, it's not like you would have turned it off.
No, exactly.
You would have watched it, but it's you have the ability to go through it the same way people watch Raw on DVR.
Yeah,
and they fast forward fucking Kalisto versus
Lars Sullivan.
Exactly.
Yeah, I totally no. I'm glad. Yeah, you clarified that for me, because that is definitely a thing. Like if I was watching it live, I probably would have just sat back and took it in, but
maybe even enjoyed it. You never know.
Yeah.
But yeah, moving forward, we can move. I just want to talk basically about the Bucks match and the Jericho.
Yeah, that's where I was going. That's where I'm going.
Yeah, so the Bucks, I fell asleep halfway through, but
you were not entertained.
You know what's fucked is I say that like, I fell asleep halfway through, and I don't mean that as like a metaphor. I mean like genuinely it was late and it was on in the pitch black room on my laptop, and I was laying in my bed.
Yeah.
So I was going to fall asleep. Like, it wasn't because their match was dull. That is not what I mean. So anybody coming at me here, we're getting ready to, their fingers and their thumbs coming. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, a Bucks match. It was a typical Bucks match. I've seen a few of them live, seen a few of them on TV. And
that's how I felt about it.
Very
too.
young Bucks.
But I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that doesn't mean bad.
There was some good spots, man. I love Pentagon, man. Like, I don't see enough of Phoenix, but I know Pentagon shit pretty well.
Which one was from Lucha Underground?
Pentagon is from Lucha Underground.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's the one I would know more.
Phoenix might have done stuff there, but Pentagon was definitely more highlighted over there.
Yeah, and if he did, I don't think it was in the first season anyway. So
maybe. Man. It's cool because both teams are like actual brothers. Like that was the dope part about it too, right?
Okay, this is where my rookie non-knowledge comes into play. Had no idea
Pentagon and Phoenix,
that they were brothers.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was the sick part about it.
And are they called the Lucha Bros?
Yes.
Yeah. See, I didn't even know it was them. Remember when I found that out on the episode, and I think I hit the fucking. Yeah. Because I'm like, wait. Pentagon and Phoenix are the Lucha Brothers? I thought the Lucha Brothers were some other group.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, sorry, I'm getting off topic. Anyway.
I love
not off topic.
Good career. That guy, man, Pentagon. He's got that aura to him of just star quality, man.
Totally.
He's got the mannerisms. He's got the whole shtick with the crowd behind him, the gear, the look. But fuck, man, this match, good shit. I really enjoyed it. I was surprised with the outcome though, because I thought the whole story they were telling is that the Bucks won the AAA titles in Mexico from these guys, and I thought
they're gonna win it back
in America. Yeah, like that would have been a cool story.
The Bucks kind of show.
I was kind of surprised when the Bucks won, man.
Same here. That one I feel bad, but I didn't go back because I had seen so many pictures on Instagram. Of the Bucks with the titles. I didn't feel like I needed to see the Meltzer driver 1, 2, 3. No gyps. I mean, I love the Bucks. My picture on Twitter is me and the Bucks, but I wanted to get to this Jericho fucking match, and I was eager to watch it, so I skipped towards that. But yeah, good match. Obviously, like I said, just typical Bucks Bucks match.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're going to get a lot more different, alternative style. And just, I'm sure the Bucks are really going to sink their teeth into wrestling even more than they already have with AEW.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're not going to be so, well, maybe they will be, I don't know, but not so all over the map. Like, they're going to be more structured with live television and a big show and maybe the odd indie show, and then they get to go home. And, I seen Nick Jackson make a tweet like, yesterday I was a wrestling superstar, and today I'm a dad making breakfast and taking my kids to school, and I wouldn't have it any other way. That's pretty dope. Like, you literally lived the dream of, like, 2 lives.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Shout out to them for that, too, obviously.
But, yeah, I guess we'll get to the core, the main event of the night.
Shut the hell up!
Okay, fine.
Well, he is acting like a fucking prick lately, eh?
Sorry, wait.
I love it.
Before I get to that, because I did watch the Bret Hart segment.
Oh, I already played the clip, Don.
Yeah.
You can't.
So, no, I watched the Bret Hart segment.
Yeah, fair enough. We should talk about that.
No, just because I wanted to talk a little bit more about fucking MJF, man. I'm glad that this guy came out and I was dying when he brought up the thing of Bret Hart getting attacked at the Hall of Fame. Like, he comes out and he was like, oh, Bret, watch out. Like, I don't know if you've seen that. He's like, watch out.
That.
And I was like, oh, this guy, I'm so glad that came into play. Because I was watching this segment thinking, like, I wonder what Bret, I wonder if that, like, is crossing his mind at all. Or I wonder if it's going to come into play.
I definitely watched parts of this show too much with my Monday Night Raw glasses and kind of just let some of the talking segments fly right over my head because I knew he came out, obviously, but I missed that quick little line about him. Hey, watch out. But to me, this was so like, and fuck Cody, man, like that clip of him just ripping apart WWE on the stage from the day before this show. Yeah. And him just ripping Bailey and about, being I don't know. I just hated that clip and them ripping the 24 title. Like, the title's not really supposed to be awesome looking. Like, it's supposed to kind of look tacky and like that's kind of the idea. That's why like a guy like Roman doesn't want to win it. Like,
yeah. That's a whole nother thing in itself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't see all the Cody clips. I think I might have seen the Bailey one, so I can't really speak too much on it.
Matt and Nick Jackson both basically kind of said, like, our belt's going to look really nice. And then they were like, we all love Cody's like, we all love Mick Foley. He's a legend. He's an absolute legend. And he's just out there dying, just struggling. They're out there. And he's just talking about that. And it was true. Don't get me wrong. But I felt like they did this because of that. I felt like 2 weeks ago, Bret Hart was not. And maybe he was because I heard a rumor that it was supposed to be Ric Flair. But because of the surgery and everything, that's why it wasn't. Yeah. Either way, I thought it was just like a nice jab back to WWE, like, this is how you do it properly, guys. Turn the knife. I mean,
as far as aesthetically, yeah, but like as far as fucking Jungle Boy and whoever the fuck like that shit was stupid to me. Like, MJF was there and talking shit to Bret Hart and Adam Page too, and then fucking Jungle Boy comes behind him, and this guy, like, I don't know how old he is, but he looks. Like,
he looks little.
Just smack the piss out of this fucking kid, man.
Who, Bret Hart?
No, the kid, the Jungle Boy, like, standing up to MJF. I'm just like, dude, you could kick this guy's ass. Like, the MJF guy.
But they gotta.
No, I wasn't buying it, man. I just can't. Like, that's not.
This is how I feel about Adam Cole, bro. Now you understand.
No, Adam Cole's.
I get the same vibes. Now you understand.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not letting that.
I'm not saying you feel that way. I just mean that's how the way that you feel right now is how I feel when I see Adam Cole.
No, man,
if he's by himself.
I'm sorry, guys. I don't know. I don't know. I don't look at that way.
Anyway, we don't have to get down the
Adam
Cole
Cole's
road.
got cred, man, and he looks like.
I'm talking aesthetically, just if I look at this guy. I don't want to get down this Adam Cole road
but quickly. Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano, like, I can believe that. I'm just saying, I can believe that. Those two guys are not the biggest guys. Like, I can believe
But you don't believe Jungle Boy and Johnny Gargano?
No, Jungle Boy looks like a fucking 15-year-old kid.
So maybe he's got to grow up a little bit. How old is he?
I don't know, but he's
17, 18, 19?
Yeah,
he can't be that old.
He's got to put some mass on because I wasn't buying it.
Come see Don down at the weight gain store. We'll get you hooked up. Don will set you free.
And then the fucking Marilyn Manson lookalike coming out.
Oh, yeah, that was weird.
And it's like, I don't know. MJF is looking like he would fuck these guys up. So I just wasn't into that. It was an interesting thing. Whatever. That's all. I just wanted to talk about
Yeah. No, I quickly. Which at this point, I feel like this show might be 2 hours. But hey, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
I don't like the belt.
You don't like it?
No.
I didn't get enough of a look at it, to tell you the truth. And I didn't really look at it online after either.
I feel like they could have come out with a pop can and all the marks would have been like, oh my God, did you see it? It's fucking amazing.
It's the best thing ever.
Well, I don't, it's nice, but it's not like, oh my God, this is the nicest belt in the history, like, or the nicest belt in pro wrestling right now. Like the IWGP heavyweight title is still nicer, I think.
That belt's money, yeah.
And so is, in my opinion, I know what people don't like it with the big logo and shit, but I like the WWE title. It's like, compare the WWE title to the UFC title. It's like they're kind of make sense, you know? It's the company logo on the title.
Don't they have the AEW logo?
No, they do. Dude, it's not that I think it's shit. It's just everyone's toting it like it's the best title.
Yeah, but that's gonna, you know.
And I get that it's big. That's the only thing I like about it. It's like 10 inches tall or something. But to me, it's just not that. It's kind of hard to see. And I don't know. It's not, again, it's not that I don't like it. It's just I'm not going to do backflips over this belt just because it's a new belt.
Yeah,
either.
No. I
hope the TV title looks a lot different.
Yeah.
So, yeah, speaking of getting a good look at it, Bret Hart kind of
missing the...
yeah, that was hilarious. Him, like, walking around, like, showing the crowd, and they're kind of trying to cut to him. And that was one of the only things about the show you could notice is that they were definitely, like, you know, they're learning how to do some of their camera shots in production and shit. There was a few times where they had a couple mistakes. But, I mean, everybody's learning.
The good old Bret, man.
But, yeah, maybe I'll play it again since we kind of got off topic.
Shut the hell up!
Christopher Jericho. And Mr. fucking Kenny Omega. How about this?
Yeah. Good shit.
Again, I talked about it earlier. It was so different.
This is my favorite match of the night.
Yeah?
Yeah. Still, but it's just, I don't know. I was looking forward to it.
It was more traditional Kenny Omega than the first bout, I would say.
Yeah.
I felt that first match, Jericho brought Kenny down to his level. And I don't mean that as a negative. I just mean Kenny's up here having 5-star hour-long matches with Okada where they do flips and they're going nuts. You know what I mean? And they don't touch weapons. They don't touch the ring tables and shit. Jericho brought Kenny down like, no, we're having a fight. You can try and wrestle me, but no. I'm bringing you down here and we're going to fucking fight.
Yeah.
Whereas this match at Double or Nothing, I felt had more of a, I'm going to step up to your level and I'm going to compete with you on a pro wrestling level that maybe you don't think I could, but I fucking can.
Yeah, see, I don't know, because there was a lot of elements to me that were reminiscent, like a lot of outside work and you know, outside the ring and the table stuff and into the barricade. Like, to me, that was still kind of reminiscent of the first match.
It was there. I just feel
but there
like
was definitely more in-ring stuff. Yeah.
There's more of Kenny Omega, more that what you think of in a Kenny Omega match. I felt like we had a lot more of that in this than we did in his last match.
You know, I'm a gear guy. Kenny Omega's gear was looking sick. That gear was dope.
I'm trying to remember his entrance because Jericho's entrance was fucking amazing with the Lionheart and List and the what was the other one he did? There was 3.
Jacket.
The jacket. Yeah,
the jacket.
It's
the jacket.
Yeah, we talked about that last week on the roundtable, and I didn't remember. Remember hashtag 2013 Jericho? Don't know what the fuck I was talking about there. Anyway.
Yeah, man. That one spot with the table under Jericho on the outside, and Kenny jumps over the top rope and like, was it Jericho who stepped? No, it was Kenny, and Kenny stepped on the table that was like on Jericho, I believe. Like the table was over top of Jericho.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And he jumped on top of it. I know
coup de grace kind of style. That was fucked up.
Yeah, I was shocked that they kind of had like the New Japan style tables. Like
I loved it.
I wasn't mad, and it wasn't fully New Japan, but it certainly wasn't no WWE table. Definitely not. Wasn't no fucking WWE table.
That table went through hell and back throughout the match. Like I was like, I can't believe it didn't break yet. Like through certain shit they were doing, man. Fuck. It's good shit. And Jericho with that fucking elbow, man. That elbow. I told you.
They said the name and I forget already.
The Judas effect. I think I finally got it.
Yes, the Judas effect.
I
just thought it was the Judas elbow. That's what I said last week.
I was like, Michael Cole. Shout out to Michael Cole with the claps.
Yeah. You want me to give him one? Or what? Give him one. I'm not quick enough right now tonight. There we go.
It's okay. They got the Cole in there too. They got my Cole. But yeah, I love it.
Should I just keep the claps going for the match though? Like it was good.
I just love the finish, man. The fact that he squared him
and
with
they
the elbow.
sold it.
Oh yeah, and it was good. Like,
Dude, I had to rewind.
it was.
Excuse me. Jeez, tonight, man, the Red Bull. But I had to rewind. I saw it happen. I'm like, wait. I'm like, that's it? I'm like, there was nothing before. I'm like, he just hit it. But then I was like, yeah, this is amazing. Talk about selling a wrestling move.
Oh, Kenny after. Yeah, fuck it. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the whole time. He sold it all the way
that was
until
dope.
we'll get to it. But just the fact that they did it, like no kick out on 3, fucking, let me tell you something, brother. And like, it was just a good finish to a match. And you called it, man, last week on the show. Jericho with the win.
That's how you get that shit over, though, too. Like, that's how a finisher should be.
Exactly.
Well, just
No,
like
that's what I'm
Kenny's,
saying.
man.
That's
Like,
what I'm saying.
Same thing, the way they treat the one-winged angel. Like, he went for it a couple times, but he never hit it
Nope.
at all. Because if he hit it, that's
It's
it.
over. And then the announcers acted that way. Oh, he's going to get him. And no, he managed to sneak out of it. But yeah, it was just a good match. Like the ending was incredible. Like we've been talking about here, but I have nothing but good things to say. So I think we should get to fucking Mr. Mox.
Yeah.
Making the debut out of the crowd. I read something, I don't know, again, what's true, what's not on the internet nowadays, but JR had no idea, apparently.
Really?
That he was coming. That's what I read. I believe it.
Yeah.
Just because JR has always said on his show that he always told them when he was in WWE, I don't want to know. I don't want to know who's winning. I don't want to know the finishes. I don't want to know nothing. So a little southern twang there for you. But
that's good, though, if he didn't know, because it makes for the better.
I feel like they probably told Excalibur, who was the other commentator, who, oh my God, bro, shout out to this motherfucker. Mm-hmm. He's amazing. One of the best, I'm not just saying this, the guy with the mask, one of the best commentators in pro wrestling right now. And this guy, he commentated on a few of the matches me and Mike did, shout out a few weeks ago on the Kevin Owens show, roundtable show that we did. He did the one with Owens and Adam Cole. Shout out to our boy. In PWG, the crazy match that they had. And there was a few things that me and Mike talked about in that episode where he just was fucking perfect on the microphone. So when he was the one of the commentator, I was excited. Mm-hmm. There was 3 of them. There was JR,
I don't know the other
Excalibur, and I can't remember the other guy's name.
Some people were shitting on him, though.
Were they?
Yeah. I don't know. I was listening to another show, and they were just kind of shitting on the guy. I didn't pay it sounds weird, but I didn't pay like a lot of attention to I was so into the matches. Like, it was just there for me to comment. There was nothing that bothered me or that stood out to me a lot of the commentary. I was just enjoying the matches. Yeah.
Fair enough. But yeah, so Jon Moxley makes his fucking debut.
What did you think of this whole moment as far as the in-ring, like when he stepped in the ring? And
the fact that he came out of the crowd and the lights were on, it wasn't like a spotlight, no music, nothing. It actually, I mean, we know now it's not, you don't have the exact same feeling as the people probably felt in 1995 or 6 or whatever it was when Scott Hall walked down the ramp there on Nitro, but it had that feel. It had that Scott Hall crossing over, what the fuck is he doing here kind of thing. Like, you're not really sure. I mean, we all know what he's doing here now, but you could buy in. Whereas in WWE, when something like that happens, it's just so, they've got the fucking security holding off the people and they're all ready for them to come out and there's a spotlight and the music hits and it's so rehearsed.
Yeah.
This felt very natural. I enjoyed the hell out of it, man. And how, I love how he attacked both of them and went right for Jericho. But I love that Jericho won, and I don't want to get all over, but I love the way Jericho's playing off all this shit now, man. I still haven't got a thank you, and because he won. Like, he's like, I won your big show, main event, I won. So where's my thank you? Like, I get it. It's not like I'm on his side and I don't want to, like, I know he's trying to be a heel, but it makes sense. It's like, he I don't know where else to say it. It makes sense. I'm loving the whole where's my thank you,
he knows,
and the middle finger to the boys, and just like he's the fucking man, bro. 30 or 48 years old, for Christ's sake.
He knows what he's doing. Yeah, for sure. The only Mox. I'm gonna be a little nitpicky about this because I almost did wish that, like, because this guy's gonna get cheered coming in there, right? Like,
oh yeah,
I almost wish he did something to not get cheered. Like, for a second I'm like, is he gonna help? Like, is he gonna side with Jericho and just start stomping Kenny? That would have been very interesting.
You don't think attacking Kenny the way he did is intended for heat?
No, because he attacked, like, he just was more like loose cannon like just I don't give a fuck. I'm attacking everybody.
Don't you say you lunatic for
No. Just loose can't. No, but literally like Mox, like old school Mox, just like fuck everyone. I'm just gonna do my thing.
Yeah, I'm here
like
to
that's so that
fuck
part
shit
I
up.
got.
Okay.
I didn't really like the whole fucking thing he did.
Well, that
Dean shit.
you got to explain that
the shoulder
shuffle, shoulder shrug thing. As long as we don't get that fucking little bounce off the ropes that he used to do.
Oh, that's dead. Yeah.
I hope that's something that was pushed on to him, please, because we're gonna get to it in the second half of the show. But
yeah,
this guy's incredible. After listening to this interview, like he is just like this is my dude, just like for real though.
Yeah.
Like as a dude, not even just as the character. Like. Cool motherfucker, but I don't know. Awesome moment. He lays out Jericho, beats the fuck out of Kenny, and then throws him, FUs him. Did you think that was a little wink,
yes, for sure.
Wink, wink. Here's
Definitely.
the John Cena.
Yeah.
FU.
Yeah.
FU.
Definitely. I like the fight. Yeah, in the crowd. Pop, 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 just going
everywhere. They went all over. Did he get color? Like was Kenny busted open? I can't remember.
Kenny's nose was already busted.
Oh
from the
yeah,
match.
it was. You're right. So that's why I remember there being blood and color. So yeah, I don't know, man. Good fucking.
Now that's a fucking match though too. Like stylistically, two like you couldn't find two guys that are more different than the fucking
Jericho and Dean.
Dean and Kenny. Like,
well, and how about all the stuff that's already been announced for Dean?
Oh, like
Juice Robinson and
Yeah,
New Japan
yeah.
And other people too. I can't remember all the stuff that's already been, but he's gonna be all over. And I'm assuming we're gonna get whatever the next pay-per-view, next show, Dean Ambrose and Kenny Omega. I would imagine that's where they're going with this, especially since. We know Jericho's going to be tied up with Hangman.
Yeah.
And maybe, I'm sure the Hangman will have the Bucks or somebody in his corner or Cody, and it'll be like, the Elite versus Jericho minus Kenny because he'll be doing his shit with Moxley. Do
you think that, would you prefer Hangman or Jericho to come out on top of that?
Depends what...
Like, how do you...
I could totally see Hangman being the first champion.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good decision. I just think both of them. It's crazy. I won't be upset with either one because I can justify both. Because Hangman, again, he'll be a great first champion. He's just on that cusp of... And we've seen him grow over the last 3 years. He's just on that cusp of, if he wins a championship like that and has a good title run and does, good defense, title defenses in the weeks prior or months prior, then... It'll skyrocket his career, and he'll be a main eventer forever. You know what I mean? In AEW or WWE, God forbid he ever comes there. And Jericho, I mean, what's wrong with giving Jericho the first ever AEW champion? He's helped build this company. He's helped in the short time that it's been around, and he's helped bring names and bring eyes to this AEW product.
I think Y2J is gonna.
You think, you're calling it again here on the round table?
I could almost see them, because did you notice that they brought up that matches have the time limit, the 30-minute time limit?
Yeah, and another one we didn't talk about either tonight was, or on this show, is outside the ring.
Yeah.
I think is 20. They might have brought that up. Or no, you know what? I don't know. That's New Japan. I don't know why I'm getting mixed up. It's tag matches. I heard them talk about this in the Bucks match. Tag matches is 10 seconds to be thrown out of the ring.
Yeah.
Not 5, which I think is kind of cool.
Nice.
Because it just gives them more leeway.
Yeah.
So people aren't going to be like, oh, why the fuck is it 2v2 right now? Well, technically you've got 10 seconds.
I like that. That's cool.
So they justify, the indiness. You know what I mean? That indies tag style where a second guy will always jump in and the whole kind of just turns into a fucking tornado. Mm-hmm. They can get away with it a little easier. But sorry.
Yeah, no. I was just saying that with Jericho and Hangman, I could totally see... We always talk about the chase in professional wrestling, man, and I think a good way to almost help get this guy even more over as a face in Hangman, is to have...
Jericho show up, win the title, and then show up on that first episode of AEW television as the champion.
Yeah, and I would even... I'm calling some shit they might go the distance, have the time limit expire, go into some overtime, and then maybe Jericho hits the elbow, and it's the guy came so close, and you know what I mean. He put up a good fight, obviously, and then but just got fucked at the end, kind of thing. And then we have this long chase of Jericho doing these heel promos and being a prick on AEW TV as the champ. I think that would make the most sense, honestly.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it a lot. And I hope it happens. I don't know. I mean, one more, I guess. One more for the boys. Actually, no, I don't have it going. But shout out to AEW. Double or Nothing. Everything that happened that night, I mean, it's a fucking accomplishment for the wrestling business. What a time to be a wrestling fan.
Yeah, for sure.
Who would have thought if you told me 2 years ago, or if you told me even a year and a half ago when we started this fucking podcast, if you would have told me there's going to be, there's going to be another company there that you're going to be able to watch and people are going to be jumping over. Like, yeah, okay, buddy. Yeah. Sure there will. Sure there will. Look where we are now. So pretty awesome. This week, our boy Mox, perfect little segue, I guess, showed up on Chris Jericho, the Talk is Jericho podcast. I mean, you heard it at the beginning of the show, and I'm going to play another tiny little clip now. If I got the timing right, hopefully I did. This is pure on the fly.
This is you. It's such good shit. This is what makes you, you.
I just don't even know what to say, like, if anybody heard it.
And I said, so I'm an idiot. And he goes, no, it's you. You're different.
Yeah, I don't know. I figured I'd play that again just for everybody. But
Nick loves that clip.
I do. It's probably one of my favorite clips. I think it's going to make the rotation of the regular PW Lookback clips. But, yeah, I don't know where to start, Don. I just kind of want to talk about all like the major stuff that came out of this interview, as well as Dean in general coming over to AEW.
Yeah.
I don't know, anything you want to say off the bat, like your thoughts on the interview before, because I got a lot of notes.
Yeah, I'll let you get to that because I know you got a lot there. So one quick thing, I love the fact that at the beginning of the interview, for anyone who did hear it or didn't hear it, go listen to it. Jericho and saying that like this guy attacked me, like talking about the show.
yeah, talking. He's like, if this was recorded before him selling,
nobody
right?
gives a fuck, but Jericho gives a fuck, man. Thank you, bro.
Oh yeah, he doesn't.
I appreciate
the
that
only time he didn't is when him and Kenny did those 2 fucking episodes after their 6-month build, and then they had an epic long match, and then they talked about it for an hour afterwards. Yeah. That time, not so much. But I'm with you.
Yeah.
When I heard that too, and him selling the fact that, hey, this was recorded before he made his debut, and if I seen him now, I'd punch him in the face, and fucking awesome. So yeah, shout out to Jericho for that. It was amazing. But before we get into any of it, if anybody hasn't listened to it, maybe pause us right now and go listen to it and then come back, because we're going to spoil the shit out of it and talk about everything more or less that was in there. Spoiler alert. But go give it a listen. It's worth the listen for sure. And yeah, I don't know. I had a few other topics that maybe we could have gotten into about AEW, but I don't think AEW is going anywhere, Don. So maybe we'll save it for next week and we'll stick with this all the stuff about the interview. But I just have little points all through. Like I kind of have 2 little pages here and notes.
Yeah.
The first one right off the bat, man, is this guy's just a cool fucking dude. Yeah. And it came in early in the interview when he talked about, if shit really hits the fan, we could just sell all our stuff. And he told Renee, he said, honey, we could just sell it all. We'll buy an RV and we could just drive across the country because all we need is each other. And it's like, how many fucking wrestlers do you think would say that? Not many.
He's definitely that type of guy. Yeah.
He's the fucking, like, that's just my kind of dude, man. Like, John Cena ain't saying we want to sell all our stuff and we'll drive around. No fucking way that's happening. No way Roman's doing that. I don't want to start pointing at people, but I mean, I don't know. I thought that was fucking wicked.
Oh yeah, he's a rare breed, definitely. Like that's it. That's him, man. Though that's what got me into this guy even before WWE is just him as a character and the way he is, like, unique.
Totally, man. And the lack of him being allowed to do that shit in WWE was prominent throughout the entire interview. And he praised WWE at the beginning. He gave him all their credit for everything he's done and every, the Make-A-Wish Foundation and all that stuff. And he kind of made the comment, all right, now let's bury the company for the next 2 hours. But yeah, I don't know. Was there anything you were going to say there? Sorry.
No. You can get into more of your points here.
Yeah, just, I don't know, the whole pooper scooper story that he talked about, and just the amount of bullshit that he had to go through between going back and forth to writing rooms, and then the story that he mentioned, where he said, the pooper scooper line, we can't let Vince see that, because if Vince sees that, then he's going to want that in there for sure.
And like, just listening to
and it's just true. Like, it's you said it to me on the phone, man. He's an old man. Like, he's not I think what you said to me yesterday when we talked about this interview, because I listened to it twice, was the age gap.
Yeah.
The age gap between Vince and a Triple H or even a Randy Orton is a lot smaller than it is between a Dean Ambrose, who's a 32-year-old guy, and Vince, who's a 72-year-old. Like, these people did not grow up in the same world. They don't live in the same. Well, they live in the same universe, but you know what I mean. Like, they look at the world completely differently, and Vince just is not in touch with it right now. And Dean laid it out blatantly in this interview, and I loved the point of the interview where I got mind tricked. He gave me the Vince mind trick, the Jedi mind trick, and I'm pretty good, sometimes at catching this, but sometimes he gets you, and he convinced them to do this to read some shit out there. But something I think we would have. I mean, we probably talked about it on previous shows, and I feel like it's something that you probably brought up to me before, but he would be given this fucking garbage, and he said it. How many times did he have to tell Vince? He would look at him and he'd say, if this is what you want on your show, okay, I'll give you the best version of this you're going to get. And I can respect a guy who it's not that he's complacent. It's just, if this is what you're going to give me, and you're the boss, and this is what you want, and I think it's shit, I'm still going to give you the best fucking piece of shit that you could possibly. I'm going to shine up this turd real nicely and present it on a fucking platter for you like it's, filet mignon. Yeah,
no. I mean, like I was telling you off pod, is that like what I really, really took away from this was that, it just confirmed so many things that me and you and other fans probably think and talk about on the regular.
Yeah, we were talking. Think about all the inoculation episode. We could go back, and we were roundtable, and I believe at that point when he's getting inoculated and coming out in gas masks and all this bullshit. It's just crazy to think that for so long he was just like I posted. It's you. It's you. It's you can't lose that.
That's why they like you.
You can market that. It's marketability and Dean or John or Mox, whatever you want to call me, marketability. I just go out there and do whatever the fuck you tell me. You know what I mean? It's stupid. Like I have it written here too, where, and I don't have the entire, because I didn't write it all down. You guys should go listen to the episode. This is more of a, if you enjoyed the episode, maybe listen to us talk about it.
Yeah.
Vince, there was a notes from VKM. He had he wanted to change some promos, and then the notes came back, notes from VKM, and it said, Dean should know that he's a bad guy or why he wants to get booed. Dean should read his promos verbatim. It's like, what the fuck? He made a comment again. He made a comment in the episode. If you wanted people to just come in here and read your shit, why don't you hire an actor? Because that's not what I am. Yeah. They've shackled him. I'm sure they've shackled a lot of people.
They like to take it and add their little twist, like as he said,
but it's
a lot of things too.
Yeah, man, and it's the corporate structure of what, again, I know it's what he talked about. It started in 2002. I'm pretty sure that's completely correct, is what he said. When Vince really started to build this team of people around him, once he bought WCW, there's no more fucking competition. We're going to have little groups of stuff. I don't know, but it seems plausible, John.
There was one man that really stood out to me on the topic of this, with him saying, they like to take it and they have to just throw their little thing into it. Like, he justified so many things for me, man, that watching in the past year, I've been like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like the whole thing when he talked about with Seth Rollins in the promo when Dean came back.
Yeah.
Being like, well, if you have a psychopath.
Oh my God, bro. Thank you so much.
I got alluded to. And it's like, why the fuck do you need, like.
Dean said it. He goes, it wasn't Seth's fault. He just read the lines.
But it takes away so much.
It totally ruined that moment. And he was right. The crowd, we all still popped like crazy. But we knew. As soon as Seth said, like you said, I got a psychopath. It's fucking bullshit with that kind of stuff. And we're seeing why this was happening, because he didn't have a choice.
And even going back before this, too, like, I'm glad that finally Don's theory on fucking sugar makes me crazy in a cup, Dean Ambrose, has been answered.
I wish that he talked about that. There was two things, as we'll take a pause as we talk about more of this episode, but there was two things I wished he talked about. That was one of them, because, me and you would have popped like a crazy motherfucker to watch him put 15 sugars in his coffee. And two was, I wish Jericho asked him about the Steve Austin interview.
He kind of brought it up.
Did he?
Yeah.
Where? Because I listened to this twice and I didn't pick up.
Because he said, he's like, when guys from the Attitude Era say that guys from this era, like, don't, we don't go out, we don't try, or we don't talk to Vince and this and that, or we're scared of getting fired. He's like, no, I'm not scared of getting fired. He's like he brought that up.
Yeah.
So
I guess you're right.
I think that's
subliminally, he was kind of. I just thought
it.
Jericho was gonna bring up the fact that people knew he was so closed door in that interview. I thought Jericho was gonna be but it's not a big deal. I figured Jericho might bring that up, and he didn't.
Because I'd like to know exactly.
But maybe he didn't for a reason.
Where his head was at that point too.
I felt like his hands were tied, probably.
Yeah.
I'm sure he would have loved to have the exact same conversation that he had with Chris Jericho, but you can't have that kind of conversation on the fucking WWE network, obviously, with WWE producers right in front of you on the other side of those cameras.
I feel like ever since the big split happened with the Shield, probably like a little bit after that is where a lot of these things probably started to come into play, because
they didn't even
look at his mannerisms of him as a wrestler in the early Shield are very, very different to the solo Dean Ambrose jean jacket, wife beater, fighting Seth Rollins in singles matches.
The early
stuff
when Seth first turned.
Yeah,
and his character just. You're right. It changed over time, even in the time not being in the Shield. And they said, I think he said that they didn't have much planned for him, and he kind of got over on his own, and then ended up selling a bunch of merch. And then he's like, and that's when they fucking started to, get their hands into me. And there was a comment he made, I should have never fucking showed them that I had any sense of comedic timing, because it was fucking over from there.
It's a good tip for guys, though.
Oh, it's a great tip. I wonder how many people listen to that interview. And this is another shout out to my boy Wade Keller, which I think I do every week at this point. But he was recording his show, and he got a text, because he communicates with wrestlers. It's just, who is it? We don't know who's texting him. For all I know, it's Dean. Could be one of the guys. You know what I mean? Since Wade was one of the people that broke that news, and Dean didn't tell anybody. It's very weird. I want to know. I'm curious.
Oh, that was interesting too.
Yeah. Anyway, so, oh man, what was I gonna say? Oh, he got a text about shit. What was I talking about?
Wade Keller and the text.
Yeah, but why did I get on that topic, Don? Oh man, I'm all over the map tonight. Either way, I guess we can keep going forward. That's a brain fart and a half. Jeez. Yeah.
What I was gonna say is the fact of
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Dean talking about him talking about the whole thing with the announcement. The announcement.
Okay,
that was interesting. I'm glad that they touched on that too, because that was very strange when it first came out. You know what I mean? And for a while, like I was saying, I kind of thought it was a work.
Yeah.
Because they.
Oh, totally. And that's, here we go. I just remembered. Wade Keller had gotten a text from another wrestler and kind of said, like, well, I guess you guys know the creative process now.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, fuck, I guess so.
Yeah.
If it's out there. And sorry to forget that, guys. But I just, it slipped my mind for a second. I wanted to go back to the interview a little bit here and just the part where Dean talked about, and I'm sure you really resonated with this. I'm curious to get your opinions of this, but where he just talked about how much of a wrestling traditionalist he is, how much when he was a kid he just loved wrestling and he was obsessed with wrestling promos. He said he'd wake up in the middle of the night and write down a promo, or he'd pace around his room or pace around his house coming up with promos and writing promos, and it all makes sense now when I see these fucking amazing promos that he cut in the indies before going to WWE. I don't know anything to say on that. I know you've done some wrestling training and promo training in the past, so that kind of, I don't know if you can relate in any kind of way.
Well, no, definitely. Like he said it flat out, man. He was like, what did you hire me for? Like, if you don't want me to be me or do the things that brought me here in the first place, like what? Like hire an actor, like he said.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm a professional wrestler. I have a skills that.
Because, like he said, and then in his off time, it's just like, if I can't, work on my promos or do things to do with wrestling, like, and then I'm focusing on other things, and then I'm like, he's getting sick of it, as he would say, like.
Yeah.
So it's.
And he talked about being he talked about when, being close with Cody and him being in the locker room. He said when Cody's putting on his Stardust paint or whatever. Yeah. He'd pull out his iPad and they'd be watching fucking WCW old pay-per-views or ECW or anything, and they're wrestling fans.
Yeah.
And they always were. So I can't imagine what it was like you just said, to not be able to cut promos and think of promos in your off time. If you worked there, that's something you'd think you'd want to be, at home. Oh, this is a great promo for the storyline we're going to be doing next week on Raw. And I don't even think that's something that they even think about, because they know they're going to get handed a piece of paper when they show up to Raw.
Yeah, man, it confirmed a lot of things for me, and I'm, I don't know what to think now going forward. I really am curious to see where the company is gonna go.
Totally.
In the future, as far as like just the whole Vince, man. Like I said to you off pod, like it's totally different, man. Like a guy like Seth Rollins coming and talking to Vince, and fucking back in 2001, The Rock, or fucking having a conversation with Vince. They're a lot closer in age, man.
Yeah,
like,
they're more.
Vince
They
was
can
younger
They
too.
can. Dude, I know what you mean, man. Totally, they're way closer in age. They're closer to being. Vince can relate to being 27 or 30 a lot easier when he's 50 than when he's 70.
Yeah.
It's, you know what I mean? Like, that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
To remember what it was like to be. And back, not only that, when he was 27, the world was a way different place.
Yeah.
And not that you have to be 27 or 28 or 32 or 35 to be able to think like somebody who's that age, but you get somebody like a Triple H in there who's been working with these people.
It's a hell of a lot, yeah.
Not even just, but he's been working with them, creating great storylines in NXT for years. So it's like he knows what the fuck he's doing. He knows what these people want to do, and they want more freedom.
Yeah.
They want to be able to, like you said, work on their own personal craft.
Mm-hmm.
And this goes to, and I want to keep talking about the interview if that's cool, but
yeah.
this goes to Dean putting on, dude, this was one of the best parts of the interview for me, was the concerts. When he started talking about how him and Renee like to watch concerts. He's like,
oh, yes.
It's like, we just throw on concerts, or Woodstock 98, or he's like, he told him, Cody told him to watch The Killers live at Royal Albert Hall.
Yeah.
And I think those are cool. I remember when both of us, shout out to HMV, when we both worked there was select customers, regulars who would come in and only buy those for their surround sound stereos and their Blu-ray players so they could sit and watch a concert.
Yeah.
So I totally know what he means, and I can appreciate those DVDs and those shows the way he did. But the way he related it back to, these guys are performing and they're in their element, and they can, maybe they'll tweak a lyric here or hold a note a little bit longer on that one, and they're interacting with the fans and connecting with the fans, and he's watching this going, holy shit, I don't get to do any of that anymore, and I'm a performer, and I don't get to work on my craft. I don't connect with the fans like this. And that was his real, opening. And I know he said somewhere in the interview, July 2018 was when he really said, like, I'm done.
Yeah.
This is it. And then I think it lasted, I can't remember when he said he finally told them. I think there was 140 days until his contract was up at that point when he told them at a house show that he wasn't going to be there anymore. But yeah, for the concert thing, I thought was really cool to have that be the spark that showed him, like, holy shit, man. Like, if I can't perform my craft like this, I'm a performer. I'm not not to take anything away from actors, because actors are performers too, but the actor's craft is the lines and how they're delivered. The wrestler is a lot different. Wrestler, and Wade, again, shout out to him, he brings it up all the time, and it's in my opinion, it's the best comparison to professional wrestling, is more like comedy. A professional wrestler is more like a comedian, because you're you, but you're also a character.
Yeah.
But you gotta kind of be real about it sometimes on your social media, and you can't just be a fake guy up on stage.
Yeah.
But you can't also be the same dude that you are every day up on stage. You kind of gotta have a melding of the two. So that's why I think, and Wade talks about it all the time, comedians are a great comparison for professional wrestling. I don't know where I was going with this, but yeah, more about I guess him and again, there's so many good little quips and comments in this thing. I'm happy that I wrote a lot of them down. But Jericho said, like, did you have any plans? Like, if AEW wasn't a thing, did you know where you'd be going? And he kind of said, like, everybody wants a Monday Night War and this and that. And he's like, my decision, this has nothing to do with that. Like,
yeah.
One of my favorite lines in the entire thing, though, was when he said, if there was no wrestling companies in the world, I still would have left.
Yeah.
I would have started my own company. I would have started a school, I would have trained my opponents, and I would have reseeded the wrestling industry. Bro, that's fucking... Bro, that's gold. That is fucking gold.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love that, man. And he doesn't care. This guy, fuck, man. This is what I said to you earlier before we got to talking about this interview, is in the sense that he's my dude. When he said, money's not my motivator. And I don't want to get preaching on this show, but that's kind of the way I work my shit too, is you can't have that be the only thing that matters, man, because for one, it ain't coming with you, and two, you gotta, if whatever you're doing to get it, You're gonna do it a lot.
Yeah.
So try and like that thing, you know. So when he said that he didn't even, apparently I don't know how true this is, but apparently the contract with the AEW, he didn't even know how much it was. He just signed it. Like he just said he was coming no matter what. And to go back on that, it was the complete opposite with WWE, where Jericho asked him, so you received like an envelope and you just kind of gave it back to them? Like he has no idea what they offered him. He's like, you know, I was thinking to myself, you know, what if they offer me like a Brock contract? Yeah. What if they offer me $10 million? You know, it's what am I going to do with $10 million? And
he talked about that too.
Yeah, it was like he said, what am I going to do? And he's like, my house is paid off, my truck is paid off, my mom's house is paid off.
Yeah.
He's like, what am I going to do? Buy a Maserati? That's not how I live. That's not, you know, this isn't the type of guy that I am. And I just wanted to hug the dude. I'm like, you're the fucking man, bro. I can't wait to see what he does in AEW, because if he's controlling his character, he might be one of my favorite guys, because I never connected with him in WWE, but it's because he wasn't him. Dean Ambrose wasn't Jon Moxley or whatever his real actual name is.
Yeah.
Dean Ambrose was truly a WWE creation with him putting his own little twist on it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Am I talking too long, Don?
No.
Anything from you about that? Any of that stuff?
No. I'm good. I'm all good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I don't have as much. You know what I mean. I just
enjoyed it.
Dean's always been a guy that I've liked even before coming into WWE. So.
I think that's why I'm so this opened the curtain for me, because he never was. I never even would have put him in my top 10, 15
I would
favorite guys in WWE.
Like, this is impossible. Like, but I'm so like, it's crazy because I'm trying to think back to my mindset. Like, when I first kind of heard about him was literally watching shit on YouTube from like FCW.
That's so cool.
And then like in connection, just watching all the Moxley type shit and getting into.
And you went back and watched some CZW shit.
Yeah, and that's really how I got into this guy, was just from that shit. And I was always wondering, like, you know, how's he gonna be? Like, what's he gonna do in the main stage? And it took so long to get it all figured out, and then, you know, look what happened.
No, exactly. And I didn't see the Shield stuff live either. So I think that has some part to do with me maybe not thinking he's one of my favorites, because I always saw lunatic, wacky Bane Dean with the coat, and I know that was later, but he always had a little trippy leather coat.
Yeah.
It's just a weird character. And then the hair down, I hated that. When his hair used to be in front of his on his forehead, like bangs and shit. It was fucking weird.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
That was funny when he did bring up the little red wagon, though, from the Brock Lesnar storyline, and that was fucking very telling too.
Dude, thank you. thank you for bringing that up, because A, I didn't write it down, and B, when he said it on the show twice, because I did listen to it twice, like I said, I couldn't remember what storyline that was from, but I remembered him coming to the ring with a wagon full of weapons, and I was like, what match is that? I couldn't remember, because he talked about a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
Handkerchief, and I can't even remember. There was something else.
The gas mask.
Yeah, well, that was a whole thing when he went into the story about the hazmat suit. And I mean, I don't know how much you want to listen to me flap my gums about this, but if you enjoyed the interview, then I'm sure you'll love to relive it here in the look back. But how about getting $500?
Oh yeah, for the
Shield special,
the Shield match.
And they flew. He said they flew out. I mean, we kind of knew because it was on the network, but there was writers and TV and cameras and everything. They flew the whole crew out there for this. It was literally just a house show.
Yeah,
$500.
That's what they do, man. Jericho even said he got one too, like in the past. Remember, he said that.
Well, no, he said him and Dean wrestled a street fight at some house show, and they both.
Oh yeah, that's
and
what
they
it was. Yes,
they
yes,
both
yeah.
got paid $750, and he said Dean's like, you said to Vince, I'm not getting off my couch for $750, and Jericho, I don't know why he said this, but he's like, yeah, I asked Vince if I could set up a table in the back like Virgil and sell some gimmicks. And I'm like, whoa, just burying Virgil like that.
No, he was just like,
I know.
play it off of the whole. Because, like that. What the fuck is that for a guy like Chris Jericho?
That's what I mean. Like, $750 is still $750 to somebody who doesn't appreciate $750, but he's built up his name. That's why this guy deserves so much, is because once you've built up your name to that point, because some people might think, oh, it's still $750. Yeah, sure, but this guy has earned 15, 20 years to be paid an X minimum.
Yeah.
If his name's on the fucking card, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm curious what fucking Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns got that night.
Oh, they're fine.
They were paid normal?
Paid
normal?
Yeah.
I'm curious what that normal would have been. But
yeah, me too. Yeah, you wonder.
Yeah, just a few more things before I close down the rest of this Dean Ambrose kind of discussion, but he called out Vince. I love that. He's just like, your creative process sucks, change it. And he actually just said that, and then Jericho's like, oh, your expression on your face is killer. Like, he was just like dying about it, but I don't know. And then I guess the final thing, or the final major thing would be like shooting that video, which we now know why the production value was so fucking high.
Yeah, his boy and shit, right?
Yeah, I wish I remember the name of the production studio, his buddy that did it, but he said he spent $8,000 on this all said and done here, man. And the camera they rented, that red, he's like, oh, the red camera. And they shot Lord of the Rings with it. And shit. And I'm like, oh, true. That's why it looks so. Because remember, I said it on the roundtable. Yeah. I'm like, his production value was a little high. Maybe so high it was WWE, and that's when we were still thinking rumors and shit. But I don't know. It was extremely well done commercial. I didn't realize it would have taken 2.5 days to film and all that kind of crew and everything. But I guess when you have something of such high production value, that's what it takes.
Yeah. Is this interview, are you going to be watching now the WWE product like at all differently? Like when it comes to certain people, are you going to think now about other things? Like,
I was thinking about that today.
As far as creative and stuff.
I was thinking about like which wrestlers, and I was thinking about things that maybe I've said on past lookbacks where I might have, taken digs at wrestlers where that wrestler was just doing whatever the fuck they were told to do that night. You know what I mean? And I'm sure we've, made sure that WWE was usually responsible for that. But yeah, I think when I see some wacky shit with whoever, like, No Way Jose doing some funky shit, we know why that's there. Like, not that we didn't before, but, or the back shaving. Oh, he's going to shave his back. It's going to be fucking hilarious. Oh, yeah, like, we know why these things are there. It's...
Yeah, man, no, totally.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess to close out my thoughts on the interview, like you said a million times, it was fucking amazing. The major points I took away is this guy's not motivated by money. That's almost the number one. Mm-hmm. And, it was just an amazing interview. And one of the things that I want to get into, I guess I can get into it now, is I want to apologize a little bit for some of the shit that I said about Sasha Banks last week. And not that it was like, oh, I want to issue, and I'm clipping my papers here, and I want to issue an apology under the Pro Wrestling. That's not what I'm getting at. I just felt like I didn't really give her the proper due. And if somebody actually has depression, that's the last thing I want to do is tell them to get over it, because it's not something you can just get over. So,
oh, why? Is that what's going on or something?
I don't know, maybe, but I mean, if it is, I don't want to be out here saying, get over your fucking depression, you sissy.
Where'd you hear that? Like, what made you come to the...
That's what I had said on the show last week, because that's what I had heard, is that she's not, you know what I mean? But maybe she's going through some stuff. I mean, obviously, listening to this Dean interview made me open my eyes a little bit more, in the sense that maybe she's just so fed up that she can't take it anymore, and she's going through some of the same things that maybe Dean was going through. I don't know, like... I'm sure a lot of these segments with Sasha and Bayley backstage fighting in the fucking lockers was, Vince rubbing his hands too and thinking this is great when it wasn't, you know what I mean? And them never really cashing in on that feud. But to bounce off that, dude, I would love to see this with Sasha Banks.
Oh yeah,
I would love to see us or one of the women like us, because I don't want to see a natty or somebody sit down. Oh, I love my job, and the certain person it will be there, but. I just think her doing this would be fantastic.
Yeah.
And honestly, right now, if you had to give me a woman that would be jumping, she's the one. Once that contract is up or whatever she's got to deal with, if there's a woman coming over, that's the one I'm thinking right now.
Yeah.
As far as a WWE woman, I hope we still get a Tenille in the future, but maybe a Kelly Klein from ROH too. I don't know, but
yeah,
I don't know. Over to AEW. Final thoughts on the interview from me. If you want to be a dentist, go be a dentist. Like Dean said himself, that's you gotta just do what you feel is right, of course.
Yeah. Good on him though. He like the difference with him and Sasha too is that I don't know what her status is or what's happening or anything like that, but if she he stuck it out and he did it the right way. And
yeah, he said, what's 8 months? When he said that, what's 8 months? What's 14 more Raws or whatever?
Yeah.
He knew he didn't want to get any fucking battles. And he said, too, because he waited, if they sell a Shield DVD in Cambodia in 2 years, I'm going to get my 2 cents or whatever.
Yeah.
So he's going to get all his fucking royalties forever, which is great. do we think he'll be back eventually ever? Ooh, I would say less likely now after something like this than even when I knew he was leaving.
Yeah, you never
know.
So early to...
Exactly.
Dude, but on the topic of this, like, I watched an interview with someone else who's not in the company anymore, TJ Perkins.
Yeah. You talked to me about this before we hit record.
And it's funny, like, just the similarities in things, because you hear this, like, TJP talking about a lot of like very different roles, obviously, in the level of where they were at in the company.
Yeah.
But him just trying, like, for so long, like, trying different shit and
asking, pitching,
like the whole Filipino market and stuff, how they kind of used that in the Cruiserweight Classic at first, and then
him totally flopped on it,
and then him
became
going
the video game guy.
Yeah, and him going out and doing things like what do you want me to do? Like doing media and stuff like that, and trying to just get more involved. And
we could tell, man, when he stopped, and it's a little thing, but when he stopped and he literally took pictures with every fucking fan that was at that house show that we were at.
Yeah,
you can just tell, like, some guys they just give more shits, man. They just care more about, their character and progressing their career and not just showing up and doing what they're told.
Dude, it was funny because I thought about that moment because he talked about some shit like that, like as far as like when he started going to house shows and then like later going to house shows and the people outside and stuff. He's like, he's like, I remember it being more people in the early days of him in the company.
Yeah,
like,
2015.
Yeah, just the difference and the decline in like going out back to like when we ran into him.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how much less.
That was kind of how much less people, even when we were there, remember? Like it wasn't.
No, it wasn't crazy. It was probably even less when I went the second time.
Yeah.
Like with Will and Mike D. Shout out to them. But yeah, I guess I'll get into this now. They're done.
What's this? Brock Box? Or something? No? Was way off.
Yeah, way off. But it's because I told you I was going to do it later in the show this week. I kind of put this segment in anywhere, so it just catches people off guard. Yeah. But maybe they're avoiding it. I don't know. But like I said, let me know. But bro, it's over. It's over.
It's over.
The 1-2 streak is over.
Oh, what? Really?
Yeah.
I actually didn't know this.
I know. That's why I was waiting to tell you. I didn't want to talk about the race until the F1 segment. But yeah, no 1-2 for Mercedes this week. It's first race of the season. I just wanted the record to keep going.
Yeah,
so then it was more of like whoever has to do it next time, it's even harder. You know what I mean? But yeah, Lewis still got the win.
Okay.
My boy Lewis got the win in a fight, man. He was fighting his tires. I wish I had some of the clips, but like the tires weren't lasting, and he was letting the guys know like these tires are not going to make it to the end of the race, and they're like, Lewis, they have to.
Fuck. So where was this last week?
This was in Monaco. This was the Monaco. That's what I was going to get to it in a minute. But yeah, this was the Monaco Grand Prix. Like I said, remember last week, Ironman 2?
Yeah.
So in the streets of Monte Carlo.
Yes. Because I was remembering you talking about it.
Super tight. I mean, these cars are way too fucking big for these streets now. They were too big in 2007. This track's been. This was the 90th anniversary of this race.
Yeah.
So they've been going there since 1939 or whatever that would be, or 90 or I
remember you talking about that too. Yeah.
29. I don't know, something like that. I guess 29.
Shit. So that came into play.
Yeah. So it makes it extremely tough to pass, and then any little error, any little mistake, you're in the wall. You're done. So in qualifying, we'll get to it. Charles Leclerc, the Ferrari second driver, I guess, kind of equal with Ferrari, the 1-2 guys. They fucked him. So this guy should be in the top of the standings up there with Mercedes at the top. Damn that Red Bull tonight, boys. And basically they thought his time was good enough to make it through to the second qualifying session, and the bottom 5 guys get knocked out. It's like, oh no, you're good. You don't have to go back out. Your time's fast enough. You'll make it through. Nobody's going to beat that time. So people started beating it, some of the lower team guys, and then, funny enough, their driver didn't set a time yet. So he went out, he set a time, and he knocked out his teammate out of qualifying. So Charles Leclerc, who's the kid, the new rookie at Ferrari, and is from Monaco, literally grew up on these streets watching the race from his friend's apartment, which overlooks the track. Didn't make, so he was in the bottom 16, and this is, like I said, a track that's almost impossible to pass at. There's like 2 spots where you can make it, and you got to really give her. So that was kind of shitty for a hometown boy and the Ferrari to make a chance, trying to do something. Into the race, Lewis took the lead right off the bat. Max Verstappen was up into third, I believe, and his partner Bottas was up into second. Normal race to start. They all went into the pits, though, for their first pit stop. The Red Bull, which is Max Verstappen, got released kind of wrongly, I guess, because the Mercedes was coming up at the same time, Lewis's partner Bottas, and they ran into each other in the pits. Max Verstappen got a 5-second time penalty for this, but he came out ahead of Bottas, and Bottas had to pit. So this put Verstappen behind Lewis for 75% of the race. And then that was, as much as maybe somebody who doesn't watch a lot of racing might not be exciting, but this was, because usually Monaco is just more of a processional, everybody just follows everybody around, and qualifying is more what matters. This was like Lewis really trying to make his car even bigger than it was, and having to keep Verstappen behind him, not let him pass, with fucking horribly messed up tires that he wasn't thinking he was going to finish the race on. He might have been playing a little chicanery with the radio because everybody's listening, so he might say that they're worse than they are, and then the other teams might think the tires are, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They can say some shit like that, play some games.
Oh, that's interesting. Didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, because if he says on the radio, my tires are shit, then the guys behind him might radio the guy behind him and say, hey, Lewis might pit, so don't try and make a move yet because he might pit, even though Lewis is just saying that to fuck with them.
That's just something that I would never think about as someone who doesn't.
Yeah. No, totally. That's why I like when we do this. Me and you, I kind of get to teach you a little bit about F1 and the listeners too, anybody who enjoys it. But so essentially, Max got a penalty, a 5-second time penalty for what happened in the pits. So he was trying to get past Lewis because the 5-second time penalty is essentially if you pit again, you have to wait 5 seconds in the pits. Or if you don't pit, your 5 seconds is added to your time. So if you don't finish 5 seconds ahead of the guy behind you, then he finishes ahead of you, technically.
Yeah.
So if Max was able to get past Lewis and then gain 5 seconds because his tires were better than Lewis's, he might have been able to finish in first because he would have been 5 seconds ahead. Sadly, he was not able to finish ahead of Lewis. Lewis kept him behind the entire race, and because of that, Lewis was obviously driving slower on his tires. The guys behind Max were not 5 seconds away. So Max actually didn't even finish on the podium. Max finished in fourth. The two guys that were driving behind him finished in second and third, that being Ferrari in second and Bottas, the other Mercedes, in third. So it all kind of, the 1-2 didn't happen because of what happened in the pits and Max bumping into Bottas, which caused him to have to pit again, which caused him to be behind Vettel, who was there in second. So it was kind of just a chain effect that happened from the pits. But that was the main, talking points of the race. I talked a lot about Niki Lauda last week. They did an amazing tribute. Go check out my Twitter at Salsa for one of the pictures, or just the F1 or the Mercedes accounts. And Lewis and Vettel both had Niki Lauda helmets, tribute helmets for him. And the comment, I loved it on the F1 page, and I reposted it. It was Niki Lauda with a 1-2 in Monaco. Because, they were both had his name on it. So it was just really cool. So they did a lot of stuff for him before. It was the third time Lewis has won Monaco. So, I mean, for a guy that has the second most wins in, a Red Bull tonight, boys. I've said that 18 times. I'm not drinking Red Bull before a show again or during a show. Lewis, a guy that has the second most race wins of all time, or the most, one of the two. He's close either way. For it only to be the third time he's won there, he's been racing since 2007. Not his best track, but still cool for him to get 3. And Red Bull, finishing higher than Ferrari, kind of like they outraced them, but they had that penalty, so they didn't really finish higher than them, but they were able to in the race. So I thought that was pretty cool because the Ferrari was not able to keep up with the top two guys. And a good race for the Haas team, which is obviously anybody listening to this probably doesn't know who that is, but it's the American Haas F1. They're a NASCAR team that joined F1 in 2016 and kind of used some of their money from NASCAR to start an F1 team. They had a good race with Kevin Magnussen qualifying in 5th and having a decent race. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. I don't want to go too long, obviously, on the F1 update. This is the Pro Wrestling LookBack. But next race, 2 weeks from now, Montreal, Canada. I said it last week. Shout out to Nico and Dan. We're going to be there, and we're doing a roundtable. Don't worry. I'm going to figure it out because it'll be Thursday before I leave, and then by the time I'm back, we'll be the next week. So don't worry. The roundtables they'll be there. They're not going anywhere. Next week, episode 40. We're going to have to find something.
That's something. That means something.
We're going to have to do something.
Something's going on.
I remember when we were excited for 10, so it definitely means something.
Yeah.
But yeah, my third race that I'll be attending in Montreal in a row. Can't believe it's already been 3 years of me going there. I feel like I went for the first time yesterday, but it was 3 years ago. And yeah, I'm only going for one night this year. So like I said, we're going to be able to do the show. It's not like I'm going on the Wednesday and going to be there all week.
You and Young went last year, right?
Yeah.
Was that last year?
Me and Young went last year for the 2018 Montreal Grand Prix.
Time, man.
And me and Moo went the year before, it's funny enough. I mean, well, Younger's more of a member, but Moo has been a guest on the show before, and two guys that, the listeners have at least heard in the past, because those two guys came with me before. And who knows, maybe Dan and Nico will come on the show one day too and be here for the F1 update segment, or I can record it with them and then
Don won't be here.
Put it into the show later. That's actually an idea maybe. But yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, Don. Do we want to get into Raw or SmackDown? Because we can skip it. Like,
crazy that time flies, man. I'm still just blown back by that.
The fact that me and Younger went to that race last year.
I remember when you guys went, talking to you guys like while you were over there.
Yeah, it was June, man.
Damn.
Beginning of June. We had the show going at that point. The look back was rolling.
It's just my life. My life has changed a lot in a year.
I guess mine has too. I got a new job and everything. Actually, I was just starting my newer job at that point. No, I hadn't. I was still downtown in the T-Dot. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, man?
I hear you. Yeah, no, shit has changed in a year. Who knows where we'll be? I want to listen to this 1 year from now, but
I'd like to go back to listen to last year around this time.
You know what I actually checked out is episode 1 of the Roundtable dropped May 31st.
Hey.
So this is being recorded 1 day, 364 days to the first Roundtable, episode 39. And yes, obviously, as you can tell, we didn't have them going every week, because when we first launched the Roundtable, it was kind of more just a sporadic, let's sit down and talk about whatever we want instead of doing a look back. And then we started, I want to say, around episode 8, 9, consistently doing it every week, and I think we've missed 1 or 2 weeks since then.
Yeah, fuck, that's crazy shit. Crazy shit.
Yeah. I think because we've went so long tonight, I think we should just do 1 point from Raw and 1 point from SmackDown. Not because it wasn't good, but I feel like we really wanted to talk about the AEW show and that Dean Ambrose interview that really got me going.
Well, and let's be honest here. Big Don is not going to lie to you. He did not really watch Raw or SmackDown. I literally...
How could you, man?
Well,
how could you?
Yeah, sorry, guys. I don't watch every week, but I keep up. I keep up with, what I got to keep up with.
You were the chosen one!
Thank you.
How could you? Anyway.
No, but you know what? When do they replay Raw here in Canada for the listener? They do it at 12.
Yeah, 12 till 3 a.m.
So I watched I got.
You mean the same night, obviously?
Yeah, same night. I just I was home and I was chilling out, so I watched a little bit of the later.
The replay, yeah.
Yeah. Just
shout out to Mike D back in 2015. We used to watch that every Monday night.
You know all about that.
Yeah. Anyway.
So I just caught some of that. Major points. I'm really curious to see what the fuck's going on with Bray Wyatt, man. Like, I don't know where this is going and when we're gonna get him in the ring or when we're gonna get him even live. Like, I'm interested.
Definitely.
So I'm interested.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And that segment this week was cool with them going back to the Firefly Funhouse stuff and him talking to Abigail and the walk under the limbo stick.
And he cracks me up as that fucking Mr. Rogers type shit. It's fucked.
Yeah, it's definitely something, but yeah, I don't have much to say about it. I don't know.
What, Bray? You didn't like that one?
No. It's not that I don't like it. I'm very wait and see now that we've seen both. We know that there's an evilness to his character, and we've seen the happy stuff. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a wait and see, like you with what are you wrestling in the red sweater, or are you wrestling in that gear, or are the lights going out and you're changing super fast into, you know what I mean? What is the case? Who knows?
Or are you just gonna lose it and be that thing? Like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or maybe, hey, I got an idea. Hey, maybe it's like the demon. Maybe we get happy-go-lucky Mr. Rogers.
Oh, fuck no. Don't
and then when it's time to play, we get that creature, whatever that creature was. No? You don't like it? No. You're not feeling it. How about Brock Lesnar's boombox?
Brock box.
The Brock box. I like that. Bro. I want to catch the same emotion that we had with each other, leading into the recording tonight. And I love that Brock was fucking happy, bro. Genuinely happy with emotion and excitement and all that stuff.
Yeah, like I haven't even seen a lot of the segments, but I see little clips online or little fucking memes or GIF, whatever you want to call it, of Brock fucking
I think it's a GIF.
dancing with the fucking box.
Yeah, it's great. I seen somebody comment like he didn't want to get his ass kicked by Daniel Cormier, so he went back to WWE to do this. It's like, shut the fuck up. I heard that. Well, I didn't hear. It's another comment. I probably shouldn't say I heard, but I seen somebody else comment. No, actually, they didn't want to give him the money that he was asking, so he said fuck you, and he came back to WWE, which I could totally see since Vince is the $10 million queen.
Oh yeah, Brock's gonna shake that fucking till it can't shake no more. I think.
Yeah,
But it's funny, man. Like I like it. Like it's so stupid of a thing.
Yeah.
But they made something out of it, and I wasn't super big on it, especially when you told me that shit about Ali, man. And fuck, I thought about it more this week because I'd seen some Chronicle thing on him.
Oh yeah.
And like shout out to I loved it. Like I like this guy. He's one of my
Ali
wrestlers that I like tune in for. Like if he's wrestling, I'm watching.
I can get behind that.
So I'm down with him, man. He seems like a good dude.
Yeah. No.
But the Brock box, yeah.
It was a good segment. I don't want. Again, we've gone super long tonight. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but it was good. I didn't see this till later. I missed it during the show. I saw it on Instagram when Heyman was talking about the contract, and he said until May 20th, 2020, you haven't. And then Brock just like grabbed him. He's like, "What? Excuse me? I got a year?
Yeah,
I got a year. What do you mean?" And then he smacks Heyman around a couple times, and then leaves.
You know what's
I
funny
thought that was pretty
about
cool.
that is like that shows in character
That
like,
he doesn't give a fuck about.
He doesn't watch. Like
Yeah.
he doesn't know like how this shit works.
Yeah.
Right? Does that?
And I like that.
It's a nice touch.
That's something I think they did intentionally.
Yeah.
Probably at least. I don't know. That was probably the highlight, I guess, from Raw.
I was gonna ask you because I don't know. So he hasn't like it's all just a schmage. Like he hasn't said I'm coming for this title or that title, right?
No. I'm happy that it's not happening.
I like that.
Yeah, same here. Because it might be Kofi.
Oh,
That
yeah.
would be a good match.
That's what it should be.
I don't really want to see Brock and Seth again.
No.
And we got Seth AJ too quick. They should have let that simmer.
What's AJ? What's he doing?
He's hurt. They did a segment where
okay.
I don't know if he's actually hurt, but they did a segment backstage where they announced that he was hurt.
Okay.
Him and somebody else. I don't have it written down. But there was somebody else that was announced injured as well. I can't remember. But yeah, I don't know. Raw was really nothing special this week, man. Seth beat Sammy. And Sammy did that electric chair segment. Oh, you just gonna ask me about AEW?
Oh my God! Everybody's in a fucking uproar.
Yeah. Well, and then they posted a picture today. WWE. They just posted a picture of him in the electric chair. Who's next in the electric chair? I feel like this is gonna be a segment now.
Do you think they're gonna keep
Next
going
week
with people in the crowd and shit? Like,
well, apparently
do you think
those were
that'll backfire?
real.
Like, do you think
Apparently those were real. It wasn't like in the past where we've had somebody planted.
Yeah,
and
no,
like,
I could tell. I feel like honestly,
yeah, those ones seemed legit.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Anything from a SmackDown? KO versus Kofi to open the show rematch. It's kind of
okay. I didn't see that.
I don't know why they did it.
I literally caught the end, and it wasn't anything to catch. I kind of
certainly was not.
I was on my phone, and it was on in the background. And
yeah, no.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Kofi versus KO, like I said, to open the show rematch for the title.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they did it. We all know
it was for the title.
I believe so, at
Shit.
least. And it was long. Maybe it wasn't for the title, but it was fucking long. And I just was sitting here going, why? Like, why?
It's so they're in
SmackDown was good this week in the sense that all the babyfaces kind of got over,
Mm-hmm.
aside from I think some of the women's matches.
Yeah.
Which, of course, surprise, surprise, the women were distracted by another woman and they lost because they were distracted. And that's a new thing that we've never done before. We're trying this week only. $9.99. Fuck.
It's weird, like, because I'm thinking about all the titles, and they're all just, as far as not the WWE and Universal, but like the US and the tags and the IC. Like, I feel like there's nothing really happening.
Nope.
Like, everything's just kind of there.
Yep, that's kind of how
like
it is.
JR said a few weeks ago, and I think I brought it up.
Titles have
just don't mean
never
like,
meant less.
The fuck?
Yeah.
Where are they?
Hey, the 24/7 title, though. They did a lot with that this week on SmackDown. Perfect little segue there, Don. Because I actually liked this. That Shane was cutting his little promo, and that was the moment, too. I was really dialed into SmackDown, I think, for a bit, and then I heard Shane's music, and I grabbed my phone and looked down. I'm not kidding. That's exactly how I felt. And
This feud continues, Nick.
dude,
does not
it's
like
not just
Shane.
me. Go check your boys there on the Soup and their Twitter and all the shit that they say about Shane every week, and I'm liking them all.
Draper's the best.
Yeah, bro.
With his impression, the Peter Griffin shit, man. So shout out to that. Because I love that shit, bro.
But yeah, so Elias comes in the middle of his, or R-Truth, sorry, comes in the ring in the middle of his promo and has a match. I think was it Jinder? Somebody was out there and he beat somebody in front of them.
Okay.
And then they beat the shit out of them. And all I was thinking was they better fucking take that title from him. They better not beat the shit out of him and then throw him out of the ring and be like, we don't even want your belt. So at least Elias got the belt and Drew was kind of like, yeah, I'm not that interested in it, whatever. But Elias got it. Hey, Elias' first title win.
Yeah.
First championship for Elias. What a title to win, too.
I said that, though. Remember, I was like, yo, Elias is someone who could benefit off of it, but they didn't. It
didn't benefit Elias, but the segment was great because right after, Shane did the big prick thing where he says, oh, the title 24-hour rules are suspended until the end of the match tonight with Roman and R-Truth versus Drew and Elias. Yeah. So they had their tag team match. The thing happens. Obviously, we get the spear, 1, 2, 3. Took me by surprise, bro. I was really not expecting to see Roman hit a spear and a 1, 2, 3. It kind of blew me for a loop. But
I'm glad you told me that. I didn't know about that. I feel like I kind of picked it up in the commentary.
But yeah, so I liked, at first I was like, really, it seems kind of early for them. But I was like, oh, it makes sense. I guess it's tonight. It's not like, oh, I'm suspending it till next week. And then it'd be like, well, what the fuck? So yeah, the match ends and Elias is all beat up. Or not Elias, sorry, R-Truth's all beat up because he did quite a bit of actual work in the match. And Roman spears Elias again and then kind of just like, hey, go pin him. Hey, you want to pin him?
There you go, buddy.
There you go.
There you go.
The only thing that I will give them credit for, bro, is it was 8:59 when he hit that spear. And now they don't have no runoff, none of this shit. Like, they can't go longer. So I was literally like, R-Truth, you better fucking boogie. Because he doesn't know. It's not like the ref went in his ear and said, hey, there's 60 seconds. Like, they're going off what they timed. So I that was what was running through my head was, holy shit, I wonder if he's actually going to get the 1, 2, and he did. He got the 1, 2, 3, and they cut to Shane, back to Roman, little thing in the corner. And that's your SmackDown episode for the week, ladies and gentlemen.
Is this whole Saudi thing now? Like, when is it? Do you know?
It's on a Friday. I'm not going to be able to watch it, and I kind of like that they're treating it more like a Beast in the East I want to.
I just didn't know when it was.
I haven't called into Wade's show in 2 years.
Yeah.
But if I were to call in next week, that's what I want to ask him. I want to know, like, do you feel like they're kind of treating this more like a Beast in the East or one of these MSG super house shows? Because it doesn't feel as pay-per-view-y as the other two did. I don't know if that's just me. I feel like...
No, I was going to ask you what you meant by that, but I'm just thinking, yeah, I hear you.
And the storylines aren't as serious. I feel like they're going to be over as soon as... Like, we don't. It's not like we've gotten Triple H cutting a promo about Randy Orton. I know we get that promo video every week.
How weird is that, eh?
But we don't have a Randy Orton back, so I'm going to get the game. Like, we don't have any of that shit.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
So it's next week, right?
Next Friday or something like that?
I just didn't know when it was. I
don't know. It shouldn't be happening in the first place.
No, well, I just wanted... Like, I wanted to know when it was because, like you said, like, I feel like this is all just random shit that doesn't really matter. Like, you know what I mean?
Some of it, no. They're just trying to get themselves to this show.
Like, I'd be curious to know if Dolph's going to be around after that or if this is just a one-off, get paid, go out, back to whatever you're doing.
I could totally see that. I heard, I think I said last week, I heard the only reason he was called was Kevin Owens couldn't make it. Or not couldn't make it, sorry. Didn't want to go, refused to go. Yeah. Which, shout out to Kevin Owens for that. But.
And, like, I want to see what's going on into the next actual pay-per-view because that's where it's supposed to mean a little bit more. So, yeah, we shall see, right?
We shall. We shall, my friend. And this has been a good one. It's been a long one. A little loud. I'm getting a little loud there. But yeah, it's Pro Wrestling LookBack Podcast, the round table.
Shout out to Red Bull, our sponsor.
Yeah, fuck. I did say Red Bull a lot tonight. And I'm a Mercedes guy. With the F1 segment, too, the amount I was talking about Red Bull, but... We hope you enjoyed this episode, a little bit different. Double or Nothing, Dean Ambrose podcast, shooting the shit, Raptors.
Yeah.
Got into a bit of everything tonight. It's been a good one. Hope you enjoyed it. As usual, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at PWLookBack. Send us an email, prowrestlinglookback@gmail.com. Head over to teespring.com/prowrestlinglookback. If you want to get yourself a t-shirt, a mug, a sticker, a tank top, just buy Don a tank top maybe. Yes, I'll refund you. Yeah. Buy Don, send it to his house. If he shows up with a tank top, I'll refund you. Let me know. If you don't already, head over to iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, YouTube. Hit the 5 stars. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I think that's it. Follow us on Twitter at Salsa, SCELSA.
At JustDon44.
And at ZJVY93 for younger. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. If you didn't, go listen to that Dean Ambrose interview because it's fucking worth a listen.
Yes, sir.
That's pretty much it. I've been Nick. This is the Roundtable, episode 39.
And I'm Donovan, telling you to stay classy.